When we look at the journey of the CRO token, one question always comes up. Are we about to witness another explosive rally like the one we saw back in 2021? That year was a turning point for CRO, a period when everything seemed to align perfectly. The news, the partnerships, the campaigns, and the broader crypto market momentum. Now in 2025, many investors are wondering if history could repeat itself or if this cycle will play out differently. Welcome to AI Crypto Pulse, your daily dose of crypto updates, AI-driven insights, and market trends. Here, we dive deep into the stories that matter, explore the forces shaping the market, and uncover what could be next for tokens like CRO. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest in crypto and blockchain technology. Let's rewind for a moment and break down why 2021 was such a game-changing year for CRO. Unlike some tokens that slowly grind their way upward, Cronos has often been a token that reacts to big announcements. It thrives on momentum shifts, and whenever there's breaking news, CRO has historically shown an ability to rally quickly. A perfect example of this was the token burn announcement in 2021. Token burns reduce the supply, and in crypto, scarcity often translates to higher prices if demand stays the same or grows. That burn wasn't just a symbolic move, it sparked a powerful rally, with CRO jumping nearly 200% in a short period. That event alone laid the groundwork for the eventual run toward $1. And the burn was just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The real ignition point of the 2021 bull run came at the end of October, in the week of the 25th. That's when the famous Fortune Favors the Brave campaign launched, featuring Hollywood actor Matt Damon. Now, whether or not people liked the ad, there's no denying the impact it had. Suddenly, Crypto.com and CRO were being talked about not only within crypto circles, but also in mainstream media. The campaign was ambitious, it was global, it was emotional, and it introduced a massive new audience to the Crypto.com brand. Importantly, it wasn't a one-time ad that vanished after a week. The slogan became a recurring theme, tied to multiple marketing efforts, reinforcing the message again and again. Retail investors who had never considered buying CRO suddenly felt a sense of FOMO, and adoption accelerated. But that was just the beginning. Within days, another critical milestone was reached. Coinbase listed CRO. At that time, Coinbase was the go-to exchange for many retail traders, especially in the US. The listing meant that millions of new investors suddenly had access to CRO with just a few clicks. This was massive exposure, and it showed in the price. CRO surged from 21 to 34 in a short span, setting new all-time highs. For context, when tokens get listed on major exchanges, they often see a sharp rise in both volume and price. And for CRO, the Coinbase effect was undeniable. What made this period even more special was that it coincided with Bitcoin's own historic run. Bitcoin climbed from around $60,000 to $69,000, its all-time high at the time. And because CRO's rally overlapped with Bitcoin's momentum, it amplified the hype even further. It wasn't just one token going up. Many altcoins were catching the wave, and CRO was among the leaders. Just 3 days after the Coinbase listing, another big development arrived, the official launch of the Cronos chain. By then, people had seen how Binance Smart Chain had exploded in popularity, creating opportunities for developers, investors, and builders. So, when Crypto.com announced the Cronos chain, excitement soared. Many expected the price to drop after the launch, thinking it would be a classic sell the news event. But instead, the opposite happened. Confidence in the project grew and CRO continued climbing, proving that the chain had real potential. And then came the announcement that changed everything. Crypto.com struck a $700 million deal to acquire the naming rights to the Staples Center, home of the Los Angeles Lakers. Suddenly, every NBA fan around the world was hearing the name Crypto.com Arena. It was a historic marketing move, one that positioned the exchange and CRO in front of millions of people who might never have thought about cryptocurrency before. This deal wasn't just about naming a stadium. It was about legitimacy, exposure, and brand recognition on a global scale. When you add it all together, the token burn, the Fortune Favors the Brave campaign, the Coinbase listing, the Cronos chain launch, and the Staples Center deal, it created what many called the perfect storm. The result was CRO climbing all the way to $1, a symbolic milestone that cemented its place in the minds of investors. Now, fast forward to today. The question is whether 2025 could bring a similar set of catalysts. From a fundamentals perspective, CRO is still standing strong. The Crypto.com exchange continues to operate, the token is actively used, and the Cronos chain has not only survived but also improved. In fact, recent upgrades boosted the speed of the network and reduced block times by tenfold, making it faster and more efficient. This shows that development is ongoing, and the project is far from stagnant. But fundamentals alone aren't enough. What drives excitement in crypto are catalysts, the big announcements, the partnerships, the listings, the marketing deals, and we've already seen hints of what could be coming. One of the most talked about possibilities is a CRO listing on Robinhood. While not yet confirmed, there are signs that groundwork is being laid. A Robinhood listing would be huge because, like Coinbase in 2021, Robinhood has a massive user base, particularly among retail investors who like simple, mobile-friendly platforms. If this happens, it could provide CRO with another surge of visibility and liquidity, potentially igniting a new rally. On the marketing front, Crypto.com has already proven its ability to secure major sports partnerships. Back in 2022, they were one of the official partners of the FIFA World Cup. Looking ahead, the 2026 FIFA World Cup will be hosted in the United States, a market where Crypto.com has been working hard to expand. There's speculation that Crypto.com might renew or even deepen its ties with FIFA for this event. If that happens, the impact could be just as significant, if not bigger, than the Staples Center deal, considering the global scale of the World Cup. Of course, we also need to consider the broader financial landscape. In 2025, one of the most important macroeconomic events is expected: the first interest rate cut. Historically, lower interest rates tend to push more money into risk assets like stocks and cryptocurrencies, as investors look for higher returns. If this cut happens at the same time that CRO begins building momentum with announcements and partnerships, it could create the conditions for another explosive move. So where does this leave us? CRO today has a strong foundation, active development, and several potential catalysts on the horizon. The question isn't whether it can move higher, it's whether all the right factors will align again, as they did in 2021. While no one can guarantee another perfect storm, the groundwork is certainly being laid. For long-term holders, the story of CRO is about patience and recognizing that momentum builds in cycles. The last big cycle took CRO to $1, and while the path may look different this time, the possibility of another major rally is definitely still alive. Whether it comes from a Robinhood listing, a FIFA partnership, or simply renewed retail interest driven by broader market trends, CRO remains a token to watch closely as we move deeper into 2025. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the latest crypto news and insights.